Some people think about their bed when they're traveling and are homesick. For me, I think about my desk. Now, I know that kind of makes me sound like a tryhard, but I'm usually working a bit while traveling, and so having to work on my laptop just isn't the same in comparison to my perfect desk setup, which has been a huge game changer in my productivity. I'm a huge believer in investing in your workspace, and after thousands and thousands of dollars and many hours of research, I put together my dream desk setup, which I don't think can get any better for my own personal use and needs. A lot of you guys have also asked me about my desk setup and why I have 3 monitors, what I use them all for, and so today I'm going to be walking you guys through my entire dream desk setup. Now, before actually going into my setup and on the note of productivity, one thing people often ask me about are the tools I use to keep my team of 8 organized and build my business, which recently hit $1 million in revenue. And one tool I can highly recommend is our sponsor for today's video, Monday.com. Running rareliquid involves managing a lot of things, from YouTube scripting to thumbnail editing to managing my rareliquid community for banking prep, email marketing, social media management, and a whole lot more. Monday.com allows me not to just organize tasks, but streamline everything in one place, which allows me to grow both my team and my business. I can track the progress of my YouTube videos, manage updates for Liquid MBA, and ensure that the rareliquid community is running smoothly, all in an easy-to-view dashboard. What I love most is the ability to assign tasks and set deadlines across projects. Whether it's coordinating with my website designer or giving feedback on a video script, I can see exactly where things stand. The automations are also a game changer. For example, this workflow is set up so that my video editor is notified whenever a video is ready to be edited, or my AI newsletter writers can automatically send me a message whenever it's time to review tomorrow's edition. And so if you're ready to take your productivity to the next level and transform your life and business, check out Monday.com completely for free in this video's description. All right, with that said, let's start off with my desk, which is a 72-inch long bamboo fully standing desk. And I love this desk because the materials are super solid, and I've been using fully standing desks for the past 7+ years. One really cool feature is that the desk can memorize different height settings, which is really convenient when I'm switching off from sitting and standing. When I'm standing, I have a few options, including this trackpad to walk, which I try to use after lunch or dinner, otherwise I get really sleepy. And then this anti-fatigue standing mat, which is actually pretty fun to stand on because they kind of move around a lot with my feet, and sorry you had to see my feet there. Next, moving on to my chair. I would argue that a great chair is more important than a great desk because your body is sitting on it for hours, and so the right chair can make all the difference in the world, preventing back pain and improving your posture. My chair here is the Freedom Chair from Human Scale, and I love it because of its self-adjusting recline feature, which basically means that it gives me the perfect support needed depending on how far I lean back without needing to fuss on any levers or knobs. The cushions also provide amazing support, and the chair just feels super ergonomic, which allows me to really sit on it for many hours in a row when I just need to crank work out. The headrest and armrests also move with me, which reduces strain on my neck, shoulders, and wrists. So it kind of feels like magic, honestly, and it's also super comfortable when I'm leaning back to think or watch something on my TV. One last thing I love about the chair is just that it fits perfectly with my workspace aesthetic, so I just think it looks really nice. Alright, let's next talk about my monitors, which I probably get the most questions and comments about. For the 2 here, I have 32-inch 4K ultra-shot monitors, and on the side vertically, I have the same model but a 27-inch one. These are all from Dell, and I found that this setup really works best for me. I always need to have a ton of different apps open, and so what I'll usually do is have my calendar and messaging apps on my top monitor, Chrome, Excel, or whatever I really need to focus on the most and spend most of my time on the bottom monitor. And then this vertical one is super great for emails or when I'm reading long documents or long sites like Reddit. The 2 stacked monitors are held together by a dual monitor arm, while the vertical one is held on its own. And the arms are from Ergotron, which are super sturdy, and I personally highly recommend them. All right, now next, let's go into my audio equipment. First, starting with my speakers, I have the Kanto Aura 4, which I placed on top of these stands to enhance the sound. And I just chose these speakers because they were highly recommended on Reddit. Whenever I'm streaming videos, I use this Shure SM7B, which if you do some research, you'll find is the gold standard for mics. It's what Joe Rogan uses and a whole lot of other podcasters use. I use this whenever I'm like streaming videos or doing interviews, basically whenever I don't need like a standing mic. The mic doesn't just work on its own though, and so I connect the mic to this Rodecaster Pro 2, which is also what I use to connect multiple mics to if I ever need to interview people for things like my podcast. All right, next let's go into some of my accessories. Starting with my keyboard, I use the Cloud9 ergonomic keyboard, which is really great for me because I like that it's ergonomic and I need the arrow keys and number pads for my financial model, so I really need a full keyboard. I actually got wrist surgery on my right hand back in 2023, basically from too much computer usage and not really taking care of it, and so ergonomics are super important to me, so I really love this keyboard. On the note of my surgery, everything's fine now, but I still like to be really cautious. And if you look on my desk at any given point, my mouse is usually on the left-hand side because I trained my left hand to use my mouse, which is the Logitech G Pro Superlight. I bought this one because I did a bunch of research on Reddit and it was highly recommended. I've been using it for the past 2 to 3 years now, and I really like it because it's really smooth, really lightweight, and super easy to charge. For my webcam, I use the Logitech Brio 4K, and I think that this pretty much just gets the job done. I never have any camera issues, so I think it's a pretty good webcam. Now, something that I think is pretty unique to my particular desk setup is that I need to switch constantly from my MacBook Pro to my ThinkPad Carbon X1, and I need my entire desk setup to work for both. Now, of course, the vast majority of people don't need to constantly switch between Mac and PC, but for me, Mac is great for life and work, while the PC is what I use for building financial models. And if you haven't worked in finance, you won't really understand, but trust me, I need the PC when it comes to financial modeling. Anyway, my point I'm trying to get to is that I did a lot of research into my docking station because I needed one that works both for Mac and PC and can connect up to 4 monitors because a lot limit them to 2. And I landed on this one from Wavelink, which, by the way, if you end up using, requires that you install an app called Display Link Manager for your Mac. With this docking station, all I need to do is plug in this cable to either one of my laptops, and my monitors, keyboard, mouse all work, which is a really simple thing that just makes me super happy. Next, let's talk about cable management. Anyone who has spent time creating their ideal desk setup knows how important it is to have your cables organized because tons and tons of cables are a huge eyesore and my biggest pet peeve when it comes to desks that are not properly set up, in my opinion. For cables, I use these neat tech cable management systems from Humanscale and also these cable organizers I got from Amazon, and my desk would be hideous without these cables organized. Alright, so that wraps up my desk tour, but I am curious if any of you guys have any other pieces of equipment that you guys use that I don't have on my desk because I'm always looking to upgrade my desk whenever I can. I do think that it's pretty much like 80-90% of the way there, where I probably won't make any more changes unless I add a 4th monitor. I probably shouldn't. But anyway, let me know down in the comments if there's anything else I should look into. That said, thank you guys all so much as always for watching and hope to catch you all in the next video.